Arlett. He is Trump campaign chair, and he joins us now live. Rob, thanks so much for being with us. I mean, I'm just guessing you'll feel the allegations in this book are pretty easily discredited. Trump has already said, you know, John Bolton is a, quote, sick puppy. Everything he's written is a lie. But tell me if you think the American people will feel the same way as you and President Trump.
I do, and thank you for the opportunity to share here with your audience. And let's be very clear. I think John Bolton, Ambassador John Bolton, this is about him. I think his relevance and his credibility, and ultimately about making money. I think when given the opportunity for him to speak at the impeachment hearings, he chose not to do so. So if he really did care about, quote unquote, speaking the truth and holding President Trump and his words perhaps accountable, he chose not to do so and chose to go down the path of staying relevant, staying important, and ultimately, I think, trying to make some money. And I think ultimately that's really what this is all about. And it's not about anything other than just really that. John Bolton's trying to cover for John Bolton after he was fired by the president and really denounced as anybody who's ultimately very credible. And I appreciated your reporter there in Washington, D.C., stating to the fact that John Bolton has been involved in politics or government for decades. I think, let's be also very honest, that the swamp is on both sides of the aisle, as is evidenced by Ambassador John Bolton.
Okay.
And he certainly represents that.
Okay, Rob, fairly though, if you can be somewhat self-critical for just a minute here, because does it not say something that the list of people is growing, people whom Trump praised and hired and later turned around and, you know, said, oh no, these people they're idiots, they're wackos. When does it start to reflect on the president's poor judgment for hiring them then?
Well, I think it's a very valid question. And I think ultimately you have so many people or certain people around you having accessible to, quote unquote, to run the government. And I think ultimately, let's not forget, President Trump won in 2016, because he is not a political politician. I think he truly represents the people. And I think those in the military, and I come from a very large military background, and also, of course, those that have just been in and around the government for a very long time have a tendency to forget who they ultimately serve. And they, in the administration, serve at the pleasure of the president, period. And so he has every right to let somebody go who he feels is no longer serving in his needs or his capacity as the president. And again, I think it's quite relevant and very telling that, look, why didn't John Bolton just go away and speak back at the in the impeachment hearings? He's chosen not to go that route, so he's really reflecting.
It's a valid point you make, but let me ask you then about the backlash here. I mean, Trump is taking legal action now against John Bolton, primarily to see if he can stop the publication of this book that's already really been released for all intents and purposes. I mean, does it not make it worse, though, that Trump is attempting this legal action, because it really only serves to draw so much more attention to the book? That wouldn't seem strategically prudent.
No, I think that's a very good, valid point, but I think it has nothing to do with the content other than the security concerns. I actually come from a military intelligence background. I used to have a top secret clearance back when I was involved in the military. And that's really what this is about, because the administration is stating that there are classified, highly classified information that is being published within this book. And again, also, John Bolton did not get the approval of the government agencies who provide approval when one is writing about government and their experiences within that government. So John Bolton did not follow the proper protocol. He did not get the approval for doing so. And at the same time, there are big concerns and high concerns with reference to highly classified information being involved in the book. And if indeed that is true and accurate, then again, he has to be held accountable for his wrongdoings and trying to disclose secrets to the world.
Okay, Rob Arlett, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.